and you can see her lips look a bit bigger. Here's another photo of her from 2018 as well. Now if you look at these photos of Dua Lipa, you would think that she has had lip injections. These celebrities are trying to trick us, but we know better. We're going to count down the 4 celebrity plastic surgeries that you would never notice. Miley Cyrus has been in the public eye since her early teens, so there's always been speculation about whether she's gone under the knife or whether her face has just matured. Well, let's start by looking at a picture of her back when she was 15 years old. So this is the Miley Cyrus that we all remember from Hannah Montana. Young, bright-eyed. Take a look at her nose, and now take a look at her nose 1 year later when she's 16 years old. Now I'm going to keep that picture up, but take a look at her 7 years later at the age of 23 and compare her noses. These are not the same nose. Her nose looks shorter and it looks more refined. And now take a look at her at the age of 29 and compare 29 to 16 and you can see her nose has definitely been changed. But why is this plastic surgery not obvious in general? Now, if we go back to the photo of when she was 15, you can see that her nose has a bit of irregularity to it. It has a little bit of a break just over her tip. We call it a supra-tip break. And she has a bit of a dorsal hump deformity, and that's a little bump on the top of the nose. Now, one of the things that some plastic surgeons do when they do rhinoplasty surgeries is they will leave certain parts of the nose there to keep it looking somewhat like its original self. So when you compare age 15 to age 29, you can see that some of these features are still there. So overall, the change with Miley Cyrus is fairly modest, but there definitely is a change there. So this is one that I believe is a really nice example of a hidden rhinoplasty or nose job. There's always speculation about female celebrities and what work they've had done, but a lot of us ignore the male celebrities and the work that they've had done. And this one is a classic example of a nose job that to me I think is pretty obvious, but to the general public may not be. So let's take a look at Ryan back in 1998 when he started a show called Young Hercules. So take a look closely at his nose. He does have a nose that is a bit on the longer side. He has a bit of a dorsal hump deformity, which is a bump on the top of the nose, and he has a bit of a hanging columella, and this is the lower part of the nasal septum that in some people can hang low. His nose is also a bit crooked to the left, and you can see it's not completely straight. Still, he's a great looking guy. Now let's take a peek at him today. His nose is thinner, the hanging columella is a bit improved, and that dorsal hump, that bump on the top of his nose, is virtually gone. And if you specifically look at this picture, you can see that his nose is straighter than it was before. Now there is a tendency with nose jobs, when you break the nose and try to straighten it, for the nose to gradually go back to the side again. I once had a patient who came to see me who had a nose that had been broken in a fight. The nose then had shifted over to the side. He then underwent a rhinoplasty surgery by a real plastic surgeon. That nose was broken back into place, put back into the middle, and then gradually moved back over to the side as the weeks and months went by. Now we may be seeing a little of this with Ryan Gosling as well, as his nose appears to be more centered than it was before, but not completely straight in the middle. And I believe that this is due to fibrous connections of the nose that are not disrupted when you break the nose back into center. Those fibrous connections can still be there, and as the nose heals, when the splint is removed, it can gradually move back to the side that it was at before. So I believe Ryan Gosling is a perfect example of hidden plastic surgery. Nobody would think that he had his nose done unless you look really closely at his photographs and realize that these sudden changes are likely not natural. Let's take a look at Dua Lipa when she was really young and specifically focus on her lips. And now let's take a look at her from 2016, and you can see her lips look pretty much the same. But now let's fast forward to 2018, and you can see her lips look a bit bigger. Here's another photo of her from 2018 as well. Now if you look at these photos of Dua Lipa, you would think that she has had lip injections of filler into her lips to plump them up. But if you look at other photos of her from before this and you kind of span the years of Dua Lipa, her lips seem to get a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller kind of throughout that time. And that is a potential sign that she has had intermittent injections of lip filler. Lip filler lasts anywhere from 3 months up to 9 months or so. And so one sign that people have had lip injections done kind of over the years is their lips changing size. And I do think we're seeing this a bit with Dua Lipa. And if you look at this picture of her from 2019, and if you look at her Instagram account and you see these photos of her lips, you can see that her lips are quite outlined. The vermilion border is the junction between the pink of the lip and the overlying skin. And the area that is most commonly injected with filler is that vermilion border. And so it tends to kind of outline the lips, as you see in this photo, and you see in this photo of her from 2020. Now, Dua Lipa's lips are honestly a tough one. If she were to tell me, Dr. Youn, I honestly have never had my lips done, I would believe her. However, there is enough evidence in the photographs for me to tell you that I think that over the years, she's had some lip filler. And the subtlety in the changes of her lip size are the reason why I put her at number 2 of the best hidden plastic surgeries. So what is the number 1 celebrity plastic surgery that you'd probably never notice? Taylor Swift is quite possibly the most talented singer-songwriter in the last 10 to 20 years. My wife and daughter are huge fans of Taylor Swift, and so am I. Let's take a look at her back from 2014. And as you can see, Taylor Swift does not have a large chest. And that is okay. She is a glamorous Hollywood celebrity. Let's take a look at her 1 year later, and you'll see basically the same thing. Well, in 2019, there was a ton of speculation that she may have had breast augmentation surgery. Taylor showed up for an award show with what a lot of people believed were new breast implants.
Let's just take a quick peek at a boob. Sorry, I mean peekaboo at T Swift's appearance from then to now. Swifty's boobs look fabulous and fans want in on the action from whoever her amazing plastic surgeon was.
So how does Taylor look like right now? Well, let's take a look at photos from her Instagram account that she recently posted. And if you compare these recent photos to her older photos, you can see that her chest does look bigger. So I do believe it is possible that she's had a very conservative breast augmentation. So how is it that people don't notice that she may have had a breast augmentation? Well, the first thing is that she is quite modest with how she dresses. And so unlike a lot of other celebrities, she doesn't show a lot of skin, making it not as obvious that she may have breast implants. And the second most obvious thing is that if she does have breast implants, they're quite modest. Now, in my practice, the average size breast implant is about 325 to 350 cc's. And this brings somebody from an A typically to a C cup. But breast implants come in all different sizes, anywhere from 100 cc's, which is quite tiny, to 800 cc's, which could give most everybody a triple D cup. And it's not uncommon for a tall, athletic female to get relatively smaller breast implants to give them the size that they're looking for, but not to make them look overly large up top. So if Taylor has breast implants like I'm speculating, the reason why you would never notice that she had them is because they fit her figure so perfectly well. One of the number 1 celebrities of plastic surgeries that you would definitely notice is Madonna. But how do I know that she has had a facelift? There are 4 signs that you can look at with anybody to determine whether they may have had an actual facelift. I go over those signs in this video right up here. Check it out, and then check out your friends and family to see if they exhibit any of those 4 signs. And remember, eat real food, use clean skincare, and only consider actual plastic surgery as a last resort.